You're listening to The David Knight Show.
Welcome back. Let's talk a little bit about discrimination. We have the Trump administration charging Facebook with discriminatory housing advertising practices. This is a civil complaint filed by HUD. And of course, Ben Carson is the director of HUD. Until recently, Facebook had targeted advertising policies that allowed employers and landlords to limit their audience on the basis of race, ethnicity, or gender. Facebook settled a lawsuit with the ACLU over the practice last week, and they say they have now changed their system so they won't do that anymore. But HUD is asking for unspecified monetary damages and the maximum civil penalty against Facebook because they did it. Even though they settled with the ACLU, they need to settle with the government for violating the law. Now, question is, again, they violated this law, and but they've also not only discriminated against people on the basis of race, ethnicity, gender, but basically they're also discriminated and shut down the First Amendment. Discriminated against people on the basis of their political beliefs and their speech without justification. And we've already had a ruling on that as well. They had a ruling on this lawsuit with the ACLU, and now HUD has moved in there. Why doesn't the Department of Justice move in? We had a ruling decades ago, 1946, as a matter of fact, that even though the public square is privately owned, all those people say, hey, that's just a private company. Yeah, they're a private company whose model is the public square, and they've admitted that. And they have quasi-monopolistic powers in here. And we've already had 1946 Supreme Court decision, Marsh versus Alabama. So let's enforce that, just like you've got HUD coming in with this settled lawsuit with ACLU. But they're still up to it. Facebook is still banning pro-white groups. Any discussions about that? And they will be the ones who decide whether or not you are a white nationalist or whether or not you are a white separatist. Remember, we had those charges labeled against everybody in the Trump administration. Oh, they're white nationalists. Why? Well, because the Southern Poverty Law Center or Facebook or Google says so. You remember, they labeled the GOP. The California GOP was labeled by Google as a Nazi organization. Literally, you could pull it up, you could see it there, Nazi philosophy and so forth. And that stayed there the weeks before the election. Then they came back and said, oh, well, it's not our fault. We got that from Wikipedia. And now there's been this, just punt it to Wikipedia. Of course, I don't believe anything that Wikipedia has. Is Google that foolish that they believe Wikipedia, or are they just using them as a beard, just like they did Southern Poverty Law Center? You ever go to Wikipedia and you look up InfoWars, I guess. I haven't done it recently, but I think it's about 6 months ago. I looked at it. You wouldn't even know that I work for InfoWars. I'm not even, I am listed as an occasional guest host. I was like the last one on the list. They had people who have never guest hosted for Alex that were on the list before. Never. And before me. So, Wikipedia is there for people who want to pay someone to write stuff about them. And of course, if you were somebody that they don't like InfoWars or Alex Jones, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. If it's really important to you, you have to pay a lot of money to keep somebody constantly changing it because other people are going to change it back. It's just lies. So why would you believe anything about Wikipedia? Every time I look up something that I have firsthand knowledge about, like my life, my work, events that I covered as a journalist, it's a total pack of lies. It's just like a collective opinion of people who skew in a particular direction. It's kind of like going to a group of Democrats on Twitter and asking them what they think about Russiagate. Well, you're going to get a pack of lies. So that's what you get at Wikipedia. Google knows that. Google used that as an excuse to say that's why we called the GOP Nazis. And now they're going to go out there. Facebook is going to ban so-called pro-white groups, pro-white nationalists. But of course, they're not going to ban black nationalism or black separatism. Louis Farrakhan's going to be allowed to be up there, right? No problem. No strikes against him. He's fine. He's not racist or hateful or whatever, right? If you put up something that says it's okay to be white, oh, you are a white racist nationalist. You'll be banned by Facebook for that. And yet, look at what is really going on. This story that was up on the Drudge Report, Savannah, Georgia. Only black reporters allowed in a Georgia mayoral race event in Savannah, Georgia. This was a meeting coordinated to garner support for just one black candidate in Savannah's mayoral election. They put signs on the door. You can see those signs right there on the screen. Black press only on the doors of the church where the meeting was held. White reporters were barred from entry, while black reporters for at least 2 TV stations were permitted inside. An alderman there in Savannah by the name of Estella Shabazz, who also attended, said that she had once owned a newspaper and she was a member of the black press, but she declined to comment on the policy barring white reporters from going inside, of course. All the people who went inside to this meeting, they either said, well, it's not my policy, I'm just going in here to speak. Or they wouldn't comment on it like this woman did. And of course, they shut down video and audio recordings from the inside. They prohibited that during the event. See, this is the way these people operate. This is the way the left operates, the socialists, the real racists out there as well. Shouldn't we be concerned about all kinds of racism? About all kinds of hate? No, we're only concerned about certain types of racism, certain types of hate, certain types of censorship. As WND points out, a Muslim political leader has now set some speech rules for us. This is a guy who is a board member at the Dar al-Hiraj Islamic Center in Falls Church, Virginia. They have exhibited Muslim Brotherhood sympathies. He is also president of the Muslim American Society. And he says that anyone who uses words such as hate kills or violent jihad is Islamophobic. So if you say hate kills, he thinks that you're talking about Islam. Probably are. Here's some of the terms that you cannot use. The following terms, he demanded. He said, anyone who uses the following terms is Islamophobic and must stop their hate. And we will use the big tech censors and CNN and Brian Stelter to shut them down. We use Oliver Darcy. Because when they had their Facebook and their censorship hearings after Alex Jones had been shut down, Alex Jones wasn't invited in to speak. You might as well have had Marco Rubio put a sign up. InfoWars not allowed, CNN only. Because that's what Twitter did after the fact. Oliver Darcy, who spent his previous year trying to get InfoWars taken off of social media, trying to get us shut down entirely. When Alex Jones confronted him, he just passive-aggressive, wouldn't say anything. And so then Twitter shuts Alex down for confronting him when the guy wouldn't stand up for what he had done, the little weasel. Anyway. Anyone who uses the following terms is Islamophobic and must stop their hate, or they must be stopped. Here's the terms. If you say Islamic terrorism, you must be Islamophobic. If you say Islamist terrorism, you must be Islamophobic. If you say Islamic violence or jihadist or violent jihadism, you must be Islamophobic. As a matter of fact, General McMaster, when he came in to replace General Flynn, who was rigged out of office, had his life ruined by these same people who gave us the Russian hoax. He came in and said, you're not going to use the term jihadi or any of that stuff, right? I mean, he basically sounded like this guy who was president of the Muslim American Society. That was McMaster. I think a bigger problem for President Trump than this Russian hoax has been the people that he has chosen for his administration. They have been hoaxers themselves. People like McMaster, who sounds exactly like this guy. Anyone using those terms, says this guy, Issam Omayish, is Islamophobic, and other terms that he would include. If you say the term Muslim terrorist or Islamic extremist or Islamic extremist or Islam is not a religion or Islam is a violent ideology, if you say Islam hates us, if you say radical Islam, you can't even say radical Islam, that is Islamophobic. And if you say ban Sharia law, you will be shut down for being Islamophobic. That is hate speech, according to this guy. Maybe that's why, and it's not even a race issue, why nobody in the U.S. will report about what's going on in Nigeria. As I said before, 6,000 people killed last year, Muslims against Christians. It's all black versus black, but it's jihadist, violent jihadism, Muslim terrorists, Islamic extremists, Islamic ideology that is killing those people. And in just the last couple of weeks, we've had another 120 Christians killed. Can't talk about that. That would make you racist, hateful. banned on social media and elsewhere.
The scientists at InfoWars Life have created a powerful formula for inflammatory support and joint support. Discover the power of ancient medicine with Bodies. Bodies contains one of the most potent forms of turmeric available. Turmeric has been used for thousands of years and is one of the most studied herbals today. It is well known in traditional medicine for its soothing properties. Our pure turmeric extract plus piperine from black pepper makes for optimal absorption to help boost and support your flexibility, mobility, joint function, immune system, and so much more. Regular turmeric root from the store only contains 1 to 5% of active ingredients, but our turmeric root extract contains over 95% of the active ingredients. Bodies combines turmeric with organic herbs such as spearmint, sage, lemon balm, and thyme to work synergistically for full body support. Try Bodies today at InfoWarsLife.com or call us at 188-253-3139.